Just because you agree with something that makes sense, it doesn't make you a socialist zombie. Americans have a very curious talent for cutting off their nose to spite their face when it comes to certain things. One of the things that I think is a no brainer, something that we need in our country, that Americans who should all agree on it find a way to disagree. This is a conversation about universal family leave, which is part of the new infrastructure proposal now being the bipartisan one that has received a dozen and a half Republicans and all 50 Democrats. Look, guys, there used to be a time in this country where every neighborhood, the pride of every neighborhood and every suburb in America was their great swimming pools, their great libraries, and things like that. And we started to lose those things because back in those days, some Americans didn't want to be in the pool with other types of Americans, so they would rather close their pools rather than make it accessible to all Americans. And this is similar to what I believe is going on with the debate over universal family leave. In America, if you call something socialist, that's good enough for a lot of us to not want to deal with it, not want to even give it a thought. The people who create these narratives are not the people who actually care or will actually be even in range to use or benefit from these. So they have an incentive to convince you that, oh, this is bad. Universal paid family. What is bad about that? Every industrialized country on earth has this. There are countries where both mother and father can expect 6 months. And no, I don't want to hear about people saying deficits in this and how can we pay for it. Let me tell you something right now, okay? If Bank of America, Chase, Citigroup, any large major insurer was going to go under, they would find funding for that. They would be too big to fail. Okay? If you are a big company in America, socialism is a way of life. Tesla's a really good example. Tesla is not a profitable company, has no plans to be profitable in the near future, but gosh darn it, that stock price keeps going up and those subsidies keep rolling in. If you're in some parts of the agricultural sector, boy, those socialist checks that you get really mean they make the difference between you being in business and not. If you're an oil producer, an oil refiner, a major oil company, a major driller, those billions of dollars that you get every year from the US government is the difference between you making $12 billion in profit and making one or two. I think it's really important as Americans we understand, look, certain things in life, if it makes sense, you should not get caught up in the politics. Just think to yourself, does it make sense that we have this? Will it actually improve the quality of our society? Will it actually make us a better people? Will this allow people, if we had universal family leave, would this be a benefit to our children? Would we be able to have better educated children? Would we be, what are the benefits for this? Look at some of the cons as well. What are the cons? I would like for someone to tell me, what are the cons of basic universal income? Tell me the great societal con that will create. Because I can tell you, if we stop subsidizing certain things, all these things would be easy to pay for. And I always hear things about, people collecting aid and so on and so on. I don't remember the exact number, but I believe in America, only about 2 to 4% of Americans collect what you and I would consider, welfare, straight up welfare. I mean, they don't work and they get a check from the government. And I'm not counting people who are elderly and have worked and now they're cashing in their benefits. I'm not counting people who are disabled. But in terms of working age people who are otherwise fine, it's only 2 to 4% of those people who are collecting a check. And the vast majority of those people collecting that check are people with children, and a lot of that money is dedicated to the care of the children, which, you can say what you will, but because there are children, what are you going to do? You can't say I'm not sending the mom a check because she has kids. You don't want your children starving in the street if you're a society, which I hope we want to be. So let me know what you think. Universal basic income, for me, it's a really no-brain issue. Yes, we should have, excuse me, not universal income, universal family leave. We should have that as a basic staple of our American society. It can be an insurance program such as unemployment. You pay a little bit out of your check, even if that's what we have to do for it, but it should absolutely be something on offer if we are going to have a society that you and I can both be proud of going well into the future.